My knee-jerk reaction was it probably isn't going to do anything. And I saw increased yields on every field that I treated, every one. The worst yield increase was 17% up to 85.
It was a 22% increased tonnage from control versus applied.
I think that we had figured 48% increase in the first year. And that's just really what opened my eyes, was like, this stuff is doing something.
I went from about 350 bales to about 620 bales within 5 weeks. That is an astronomical yield increase. That's, well, close to a 50% yield increase. Who gets that?
First cutting last year, we got, right around 400 bales. That's kind of where we started. And then, like I said, that second cutting, we got less than 200 bales. It wasn't a whole lot of fun to bale out here. And then that third cutting, I think we got 300, 350, somewhere in there. And then, fourth cutting was right there, that same ballpark. And then come this year, we applied it before the first cutting, and then it was right at 600 bales off here just about a month ago, and then just got the second cutting wrapped up, and we got 550 off of it. So I'm pretty happy with only losing 50 bales of cuttings.
The first cutting was 100 bales, so we applied it after that. Second cutting was 50 bales, so 150 total for the season, 2 cuttings. So this year on this field, you can see me smiling, it did 350 bales for 1 cutting this year. 150 last year for 2, 350 this year for our first cut.
The fields are around 120 acres or so. So the first cut, we got around 325 bales under a pivot. I put it on the first year after our first cut. And because it was so dry, I thought I had wasted my money. The second cut, we only got 87 bales. This year, everything was down, but I attribute that to being dry. And I think we got 278 bales the first cut, but on the second cut, we got 225 bales.
I have taken more bales off of the second cutting than I did the first cut. The first cutting, I believe, was on that particular acreage was 19 bales. The second cutting was 30 bales. Whenever you can do that, it makes you feel pretty good.
We put up the same amount of tons in second cutting as we did our first cutting, applying it once between first and second cutting. It's usually about half. That was last year. We did really good. This year, we like 100 more bales between first and second cutting on one pivot than we traditionally have.
About 33 acres here on this place is alfalfa that we sprayed the Rhyzogreen on, and we ended up getting actually over 100 extra bales just by spraying that Rhyzogreen out here.
Mostly I noticed a huge difference in the stack yard when I put hay away.
I think we got around a half a ton to the acre better than the year before.
I did roughly about 50 acres just of alfalfa. The ground that I sprayed a year ago versus the ground I didn't was about 3 bales to the acre difference.
The difference was 1/4 of a ton per acre on the amount that was harvested, treated versus untreated. So 1/4 of a ton per acre on $200 a ton alfalfa on the one cutting paid really for the product. So if we assume that then on maybe 3 cuttings across the field, then we're looking at 3/4 of a ton an acre.
This field put off maybe half a ton an acre. The field just across the creek, same elevation that we did treat, was closer to a ton per acre.
We picked up about a half a bale more than what we did on the side that we didn't apply. For $125 a bale, an extra half a bale, we picked up 25%. That's about an extra $60 an acre. If you've got Rhyzogreen, that's a $30 an acre application. We've gotten the money back on our initial application costs and material costs, and then put that much more money in our pocket because of it.
Rhyzogreen pays for itself. There's no question there. Try it on 40 acres, try it on 400 acres, whatever. It's worth trying. You're going to see results.